is Alexander, instructor here in Systema Uppsala, and this is Christopher, also an instructor. We're gonna go on the topic that many haters on YouTube and
on the general web agency.
They always say Systema is fake, is bullshit,
it
doesn't work, doesn't work, too slow, not practical, and stuff like that. So on and so on and so on. In this video we're going to show you why Systema works, why you need to have rules, like
the laws of physics, the laws of biomechanics, and also we're going to show you a progression from the classical Systema work that you've seen there on the internet, on YouTube, where we have like a Ryabko style and such other styles like a Sibirski Vyun, for example, which are very soft. But also we are going to show the progression and the higher stress levels, higher levels of violence, and also a bit more of pressure and resistance that maybe people have not quite seen that part of Systema before, with the exception of the emergence of like Systema Izvor, for example.
So we're gonna begin with some basics. If people watching Systema on YouTube and the first impression they get is this: one person strike, the other one moves away, and it's like dancing. He goes, moves.
I try to grapple him.
It looks. I have always control, but he doesn't do much damage to me, or he trying to hit me hard or something. This kind of training is called soft work. This doesn't mean that all Systema is like this. Soft work is to find a way to control your opponent, learn how biomechanics, how leverages, how his body reacts to situations.
Where my points of support are, and for example, the soft work, it makes us, when we're dealing with this kind, we can really allow ourselves to work at slower speeds, to like really see where the body has its supports. We can afford to play a little because my partner, he's cooperating here. He's learning, and I'm learning as well. He's like my puppet, if you will. So I can use him to do soft work. He grabs me. I can afford to do these things, which looks really nice. The problem is both people coming into Systema and also people criticizing Systema, they think this is all Systema is. This kind of work they believe is going to work on an attacker which has full intent and who is aggressive and has all intention of harming you. So, but that's not the case. This is just soft work, and it's just a tool for Systema practitioners to explore the biomechanics of the body and also the psyche.
To progress from soft work to actually go into more practical, and that's gonna work in the streets, is to starting to make your partner go higher speeds, lower speeds, trying to resist more, not being like too relaxed or something like that. He starts to get starting to give me problems with my work. That is progression, because now I don't have this soft work. I have much more problem now.
But he has the same principles. If he holds me here, for example, now he's tensed up, so I can't be all soft and newly and expect him to follow me. So here I have to apply the same kind of biomechanics, but I have to apply them to a rigid physical frame instead of like the wet of noodle, which is what we call it. So this applies. So if I really, you can do better. If he works now, he can still use the same principles that we are seeing in soft work. But here he has to really use his own tension in order to work with me. And here also comes in the very delicate work of like working with the fingers. And also working with pressure points, because when we're doing software, if we're doing software, I don't really need to use the vectors or like the pressure points. They are excessive. But now when we go into more hard work, if you're more rigid, then I need to see where the different points of support, the pressure points, so to speak, how they begin to affect him. So for example, down here you have the kidneys, you have the liver, here you have like where all the big muscles are. So here, if you're rigid, here. So this is still stationary work. This is not in any way related to real physical combat. It's just a progression of a way to explore the biomechanics.
So if you're a practitioner of Systema, try to evolve, make your partner tense more, so he resists more. Then if we go back to soft work, then this move that looks very easy, fancy, maybe it's not gonna work when he's tense. So what I need to do is I need to apply some physics rules.
Yeah, some rules, some physical and biomechanical principles that are part of like Newtonian physics, and also a bit of Systema Kadashnikov's engineering past. So the body is a set of levers.
Yeah.
So
I started to work with his resistance. So instead of him being like a noodle, like he falls down, he resists. Doesn't work this way. But now I have to find how can I do this movement, relax, this movement, when person is resisting. In this way I need to understand what happens when he resists. What happens if I turn the hand here?
Here I start to tense up, but here also my structure is becoming weaker. I'm still maintaining my grip on Alexander's arm, but in my effort, in my struggle against him, I have opened myself here, so my points of balance have slightly shifted. So if we go here, and you see here, so you start, you can see how my entire structure starts to shed. Now Alexander, he can work with me.
So I starting pushing down, he cannot control his balance. But if he resists more and starting to work against me,
so this is the next level.
Next step. So we began with soft work, tension, and then progression with your partner starting to work against you. So if I do something, he do something. So to win this kind of situation, you have to apply those rules we are talking about. So we have 3 rules. If you are a martial artist, you've probably seen those.
You've probably seen those principles hidden in your art. So, for example, in judo, they use a lot of they use triangulation. So, if I, for example, and this is also taken from Kadashnikov. So, if this is a point of support and that's a point of support, if I now want to break, if you resist, if I now want to break the structure, all I need to go is to calculate where to go from here, 45 degrees, the triangulation of the triangular plane. If you resist more, resist. So that's one principle. And also another principle that we use are, that's actually common and see in many Japanese martial arts, is the spiral principle. which is I cannot just turn him here. Well, I can, but if he starts to work against me, he will just adapt. So in order to put him down, I need to imagine my hand and his structure going in a vector in a tridimensional plane, like a spiral that way. So if you resist, so that's a spiral. So you can always see these in the throws of Aikido, for example. They do like these big fancy movements. You don't really need to do that big. If you tense. Yes, okay. You can only use the minimal amount of force to achieve exactly the same result. So if you resist. You see? So now, let's see. It's the same. And then the last one is called the scissor technique, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the scissor technique is, if you can show it on me.
It's basically this one.
So what he does is actually, if I can show you, while I'm applying force that way, if I apply another sort of negative force the other way, if you resist, his body cannot compensate for that. That's the third principle, and that's a lot of what you see like in wrestling, when they are in the clinch, you know, they can win like that. It's the same kind of principle. I apply force here, but at the same time I'm applying a force on another vector, so I can do that. I can go on the head and on the leg. So you're working with two opposite forces all the time. And then you can start to combine. So here, for example, if you hold with two, I start with the spiral move, and here I go into the scissor. So if I really want to put him down, he's really putting. If you work against me, I'm gonna do this, and if you start to work, you don't let me. I can always use the scissor principle in order
to win.
Yeah. So if I, so then I can also do like the 45 degrees, so triangulation here. Alexander tries.
Also 45 degrees, so I do.
And these are actually the party trick, we call it, from Vladimir Vasiliev.
So, those three rules, physical rules, you have to work always with to win a fight. If you start to forget those rules, it's basically gonna end up with wrestling, and the bigger, stronger guy is gonna win.
Because he has more power to put behind his.
So if we starting to wrestle, we can stop here, and we don't apply any of those rules.
I'm just trying to like bring him down. He's trying to bring me down, and we can keep on like this forever. As soon as one of us starts to apply the rules. So if, for example, if you continue with wrestling, and I will. So when I suddenly apply one of the concepts, then I will immediately win. Even if he's a bigger opponent, as long as I catch him off balance, as long as I effectively use one of these physical principles.
So we're gonna show you on a bigger opponent, Mikael.
So if Mick and I start to wrestle, I try to bring him down, he starts to bring me down. So okay, I can't out-muscle this guy. He's like 20, 25 pounds heavier than I am. So in order to win here, I really need to be able to use the biomechanics of his body. I need to be able to take out his support. I can do this a lot of the biggest mistake that people do is when they come into training and they all use the soft work. So if Mickey comes against me, he tries to wrestle, I try to be all soft. You try to wrestle me down, Mickey. He will throw me down. Try to be all soft. Mickey is hard as a rock. I can't really do anything. So here comes the progression. So now it comes. So I'm not tensed up like, but I'm controlling it. Always controlling. Seeing this is still, this is still applying those principles. Only I have to do it with a lot of force. I can't expect soft work to work on the street. If Mickey really wants to hurt me, he's going for like, I try to do this fancy stuff, it won't work. If Mickey comes at me, I really need to be able to use this biomechanical.
Thank you. So, next we're gonna go to.
This is called the principles of 3 points of support. So, when I grab him, this is 1 point of support. If I now grab him another time, that's the second point. And the whole idea behind this 3 support point system is that in order for Alexander to win here, he needs to control the second point of support. So if that's 1 point. If he now adds the third one, for example on the head, he can start to work against me.
But if I have only 2?
So if he tries to work, then it becomes very much harder. So you see now I'm adding a lot more to struggle. He really tries to use all these fancy tricks, they don't really work.
But I apply third point?
Oh. And the one who controls the third point of support means, and this is a really interesting observation. I think Alexander, you got it from Kalashnikov, right?
Yes.
And it's also, if you look at, if we analyze all the successful grappling martial arts, and really always seem to be, for example, a hip throw is 1 point of support, second, third. So there you have 1, 2, 3. If I were just going to do 2 points, he will still maybe go down.
If I resist?
But if he really resists, he can. So if I earn the third one, so that's like the crude part of it. But you can also apply this if I grab him, for example, here. So I have 1, 2, 3. Now he already has 3 points. So if he now adds a third, what he actually does is he gives me support now. So if he tries to wrestle me down, he won't be able to, because now they're foiled. There are 4 points and force a crowd. So if he just lets one of the points go, so there's just 3 again, now immediately my support disappears. Så om du försöker bara ta ner mig. Okay. So first, yes, that. And now all Alexander has to do, look, he's going up there and just keep it.
So if we struggle, he has grabbed me 2 points. 1, 2, and I suddenly did this and this. It's 4 points.
1, 2, 3. So even though he tries now to wrestle me down, and you really go at it, I'm still be able to compensate.
But if I hang on to the 3 point principle, I'm gonna win
every time.
Every time.
Almost.
So we're gonna show some of those.
Yes.
So if Christopher is gonna grab me somehow.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, I win. No legs. 1, 2, 2 points here. He's just going back. If I use 1,
oh,
his structure instead of him going backwards, he's going sideways. For me to win. Grab. 2 points. That's my third. I can hit, I can kick there, or I can hit.
Oof. So imagine if you were like trying to do that same thing. If you try to hit my arm and do that takedown again, here's 2 points. And I'm really resisting.
And I hit him hard.
As soon as I...
He goes down. I work with him.
First, here's 2 points. And 3.
So resist all you can. All you can. And me, relax. But if you resist all you can, and yes, and I'm gonna do it. You resist? Doesn't work. So then I have to find
The third point.
the third point. If suddenly it happens, the guy grab me. Don't walk. No. Okay, grab me again. Grab me. 1 point. And I wanna do some fancy move. It doesn't work. Resist. So it doesn't work. Then you have to immediately think, what's the third point? Who has it? He has it. I had it. I don't have it. I have it. 1, 2. Okay, third. Then hit down. The same. Again. Here. Oh crap. I don't have. I go there that way, and I.
So for example, if he holds me, so yes, here we only have 2, 1, 2. I can try to do those things. Probably, I mean, if you do this kind of soft work, I can put him down with only using 2 points of support, just using basic principles. But if he's really resisting, he's not letting me, and he's compensating for everything I do, then I must try to find a way to the third point. Because as soon as I find this third point, look, his structure will begin to break.
So
That's like not a cheat, but it's a shortcut through many of the problems that maybe a lot of Systema practitioners that are having trouble applying their soft work. For example, and this software, it works good with friends. We want each other to feel good, like wow, it's so awesome. I can do Systema. But as soon as I meet someone who's resisting, he's not letting me do anything, I need to be able to find a way. If you take your Miki, for example, again, using the bigger guy, if he has my 2 hands, I know, and he's never like tried Systema before, he doesn't know what it is. So he doesn't know that, okay, I'm doing soft work here. Okay, so he's resisting. I can't really do anything. But as soon as I apply to 1, 2, 3, I can already start to show Mickey, okay, Systema, it works. It's just different. So here I'm just seeing first what I can do with 2 points. Then when I'm feeling that I want to take him down, I just need to find the third point. And then she will go down. So thank you, Mickey. Thank you.
So, very important to understand that when you searching for the third points, it doesn't have to be a foot or a grab.
It's at a point of contact.
So what I can do, I can use my shoulder, and it works perfectly fine. I can use my knee, works perfectly fine.
Because the way it works, if you do it slowly, what he does is here is on 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. When the third point connects, my structure is compromised. At this split second, he can use my imbalance in order to take me down. So, but if, for example, he was only using like the leg and trying to nothing will happen. But for example, if I lean on him and he do the same thing.
So I can experiment. Grabbing here, grabbing there, grabbing here, grabbing here, grabbing everything. So I can use pressure points.
As a third point.
I can use hitting. If you hard here, I can. And if we apply everything we talked about, rules, and those 3 points, it's very easy to win a fight. So, if you raise me. Yeah. Now we're gonna work with Christopher. Is gonna move, so we don't stand already here.
No. So we will begin with soft work, as you saw in the beginning, and it's trying to find
how to break my structure.
How to break this structure in a calm fashion. And once again,
for me, to be relaxed is to avoid injuries. That's why I'm falling, not hard enough, and it's very important for him to not have a lot of speed, because even if he doesn't have intention to hurt me, speed always gonna make somebody get hurt or get bruises.
Yeah.
So when you use control on other person, have
discuss amongst each other. Okay, we are going to use soft work. We're going to go at this speed. So we all know all the parties involved. So if he does this very soft and I start to hit him right away, it will just damage him. It will not be productive. He will not learn. I will not learn anything because I'm cheating. I need to work at the same speed and the same level of tension as my partner in order for it to be fruitful. And then you can start to, he can be a bit more tense, yes. So when I tell him to tense up, he can do so. But only with consent. It all has to be consensual. So if I say, okay, Alex, I want to try a few things, I want you to slow down, he slows down, I can work, we can go back to doing this soft work. I try to grab me. Oh, soft work, okay, I say, okay, Alex, now I want to try a bit more resistance, so he resists more. So I like by progressing this way, I'm teaching myself. I was giving a few hits. In order for, and I just freeze because, for example, I start to work here. He's resist. Okay, this is not working. I say, okay, Alexander, I'm gonna find a solution to this problem. We go back to the principles that we discussed earlier. For example, here's a good opportunity for the scissor technique. So while I apply my force that way, I simultaneously will apply that force and it will all go in a wave. So resist, Alex. So I can always see that my soft work perfectly translates into higher and higher progression of tension. If Alexander works with me, we begin softly. Whoa. 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 And then Alexander decides if he wants more pressure. So he, because I must be honest with my training partner. If he really says, I want more resistance, I want you to hit me more, I want you to be more mean to me. So for example, we start to grapple, he says, oh, you're being too nice, okay? I will try to be more aggressive and you try to work. It works. So we always check ourselves.
Okay, so how do we progress from that one to realistic fight? So what is really a realistic fight? Okay. Really. So I'm gonna have my gloves on, so, and Christopher is gonna have helmet.
Are you gonna attack me, right?
Yes, I'm gonna attack you now,
Yes.
and you don't do anything.
Yes.
This is typical street fight. Okay, this is fight with rules.
Yeah.
Helmet on. Fight with rules.
So
Somebody comes in,
he's a referee.
referee.
And you just do like this, begin fight.
We hydrate it. We're in warm place.
Okay.
And I know if something happens to me, like my teeth go out, or
They will cut the match.
cut
right?
the match, and the nurse or anybody that can help
And
me
medic will.
run and try to see what's gone. So this is what everybody wants to see. More professional fight. They try to grapple, bring him down. He goes.
The referee starts to.
Going to my. And then we're gonna apply it to Systema rules. Systema doesn't have any rules. So first of all, helmet up.
Yes.
First of all, you have to understand what will happen to you in the streets. You don't have these mats anymore. Even if we train on the mats, is to avoid injuries.
Yeah.
Even if we're trying to avoid injuries, it's important to teach or to train somebody proper way, so he can do the same work as in the gym as outside. So what we're doing, we said no rules now. If I grab you, you can hit me, you can bite me, you can scratch me. That's why we have helmets. Helmets on, then with.
So like this is a high impact protective helmet. So it's suitable for like taking kicks if you're lying on the ground, taking kicks to the head. Also to take full point blows. So for example, if I were to hit Alexander either with a slap or if he can take it, and this is still representative of what the hit will look like on the street. So even if we are working, I can go like that, and it will still protect them. If we were to, like we see some Systema schools, they avoid
Helmet.
protective gear, and what happens if we were really to try to simulate a real fight, and I will try to hit him, I will break his jaw, his teeth will fly out. You cannot train like that.
Scratches, and we're gonna bleed a lot.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And to the guy that has come here to train with you, he's gonna be at home waiting to his scars to heal,
Yeah.
or maybe he has concussion, he's in hospital and stuff like that.
So
That's why in the gym you can never go real fight. That happens in the street when your life is in stake.
But you can use protective gear to get to like 90 or maybe 80% of what the situation is outside. But I mean, even though it's 80, 90, it can never be 100%. That's still better than relying on basic soft work. To only rely on this, like we see in many Systema schools, you're fooling yourself, because all of a sudden, if he gets really aggressive, if you take part in my shirt, he screams at me, what the fuck? Like, and I was okay. Here I will freeze, because I've never been exposed to that level of aggression before. Because the only thing we have been two friends doing this soft work all the time, and we can play along. I can do like all the fancy stuff, and I will feel really good about myself. I will feel real skillful. But in order to really test your skills, if I am going to attack Alexander,
Defending.
You are.
Okay, I'm defending.
Yeah, you're defending. In order for Alexander really to be honest with himself, The same principles apply. He works with himself. He does not work against me. He works against himself. It's fair. So when I start to scream at him and try to take it down, he has to work with that. That's not, even though we are friends, as soon as I raise my tone of my voice and everything becomes more and more tense. So if I were like, and he starts to work with me, that's more akin to reality than just doing this.
But don't be fooled by if you already seen Systema sparring, like okay, they're using real speed, but it's not like any Systema I've seen. Strange. It looks like more like this. Where is the cool stuff? Where's the he hits? Where's the grappling? Where's this? Where it's gone, right?
Because if you try to do that at really high speeds and you're not prepared for it, so people get scared of it. Because Systema, when it comes down to it, if you take, for example, short work, it's very nasty for your psyche. If he grabs me, for example, in soft work, I've tried to like, okay, I will do this, I change the structure, or put him down. But in reality, if he grabs me, he really does not want to let me go. I really need to be hard on him. I need to work very short, very effective. So that's why when you see two Systema guys sparring, they have no protective gear. They are just trying to like play around, do like this. It all that's a good drill for like having timing and stuff like that. But it's not sparring closer to reality, even if some people may think so.
So best way to upgrade to a sparring level with Systema, I'm gonna show you what we are doing. Systema Iswar is really good. They're using this method too, and all other schools now starting to use the same. So what we're doing, we're gonna begin slow and upgrade speed. So we're starting with typical boxing. So he hits, I go here, but remember to have good gloves, not MMA gloves because they can knock you out. These gloves, if I hit with good amount of force, but still we don't go. If I need to go that fast,
we need to put this on.
Then we go helmets on. But to learn to use
sparring.
Systema in sparring is very useful not to use helmets, because you need to learn how to move, how to come in, and how to work with your techniques.
So for example, if you've seen Systema Kalashnikov, he hits, you have that kind of defense, or if you have that kind of defense, you need to be sure that if he goes at full speed, if you try to hit me, that I can still use the same principles of defense. So when you spar, those same principles, they still apply, but just at a high speed. So if we go at it, we try to box a little. So here it's just still is playing. Me and Alexander, we just try to touch each other. Nice.
But this is still not
real.
Not real. Not what you expect. Your maybe question will come up. Okay, they're always on the distance. How will they come and do this stuff like they're teaching us? Again, progression. Now I have no gloves. And my mission now, not to hit him. His mission still.
I will try to hit them.
Hit body, head, kicks. My mission is to get behind him where I can start to work. Get in the side or something like that. That's why to learn how to deflect hits like instead of blocking, is much important.
Because if he blocks, if I'm a very good boxer, which I'm not, but if I were a very good boxer, the same moment he blocks my punch, that would be like a signal going from my head to my brain that, okay, it didn't come through. I need to try something else, and then all my combinations will start to work.
Yeah.
But if you just let it pass, so to speak, so if I hit, I would have hit nothing. So before my nervous system can recover, I'm already down. So,
and this is where you're trying to get on a good realistic level. He's trying to hit you in the head. And you see, he's always hitting. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I can speak. And my mission is to work professional with Systema against him. So that's why you have to learn how to move to get to the right position. Not just stand here, he hits and you're trying to block and suddenly you're here and it doesn't work. Why? Okay. You have to learn how if he hits, how do I get to that position?
You need to be confident. A lot of people, especially when they start to spar, and if they haven't really, take the glass, when they start to spar and they haven't really been exposed to that kind of, I mean, sparring it's good for the psyche as well, even though it doesn't hit hard. I know that, okay, I can take a punch, he can hit me there, hit the body, he can hit me everywhere. Okay, so, but now I need to work with that. So instead of always going on the defensive, so he goes at me, here he forces me always on the defensive. Sooner or later, my fear and my belief in myself, I will become scared of him, and my confidence level will steadily decrease as the seconds go on. So like for the first second, I can be, yeah, okay, wow, I blocked the punch. Okay, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, okay, he starts to get some hits in, and all the way he's breaking me down. So that's why I need to have the confidence. So when he hits, I need to have the confidence to know that I can go around him, even if he hits me. So I can still work. So even though I got hit, I still know that the match is not over. I need to be able to take a hit and still continue working.
And to progress in this situation, we are now working against each other, not playing, playing at some level, but now he tries to also win against me. So even if I say, you don't use Systema, you just use simple boxing or something, I try Systema.
Yeah.
So he's trying to score here. If I have a helmet, his mission is to hit me, not to touch me or something. Go all in, try to knock me down with the helmet. Don't do it without helmet, concussion, not good. And I try to choose speed at the beginning, because if you say, okay, I've learned 3-point moves, or I learn basic structure breaking or something like that, I say, okay, full speed, and suddenly this happens. No, you have to understand that if you want to progress, you have to first communicate with your partner, and says, okay, half the speed, I want to try. Okay, full speed. Ooh, this worked. Then you be confident in your move. Remember, Systema doesn't have techniques. That's why I'm not using techniques. It's a movement,
Principles.
and a principle. That's why you have to learn. All these things we have talked about is structure breaking with those 3 rules. 3 points. So he grabs me. Even if he doesn't do that in sparring, in sparring, those rules still apply, because even if you suddenly come close and his hand stuck over your shoulder, it's 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, he's gone. That's how you're starting to win, not by thinking that you can try to get in with all kicking and distance. That's why Systema is short work, I usually say. It works if you're a good hitter with the distance, but best in short work.
You need to utilize the principles of Systema's strength lies not necessarily in his sparring, in his fighting prowess, so in his fighter's ability to do this and that can teach you timing or anything. But Systema is, as you know, it's a military system. So in order for a soldier to accomplish his task, you need to get in close with the opponent. So if he starts to work at me, I need to learn how to get in so that when I'm inside here and he resists, he wants to kill me as well. I need to know my biomechanics, because in order to use my biomechanics, I need to stay close with my opponent. It's very hard to use effectively your biomechanics realistically. Out here, if you resist, here's very hard for me. I need to go in order to use them.
That's why we have this kind of training. If Mikael comes back, yeah. With helmets, no helmets, depends on the speed. So now what you're gonna see is training to win a fight when the fight is already begun. When you're not in this situation, somebody talks to you and you think, aha, there. When suddenly you say, come on, and when you usually see in a street fight.
So this fight, this drill does not take place like when you're being attacked. This is like when two people decide to engage in each other and to fight. Like, I'm gonna fight you, man. And he says, yeah, okay, come on, man. And then we start to fight. That's what this drill is about, right? Yeah?
No. Remember, protection always useful to not get concussion or get really hurt.
So now Mickey will work, as we said, with getting close to me. And I will just try to hit him in the head. So, as we said,
remember, Christopher is trying to hit. He's not faking it. So, for Mickey to get a real good training out of this, he sometimes checks with Christopher. Like if we're doing so, I hit, and then I let him through some punches to see if he's not cheating.
I have to be honest.
If he's starting to do like this is not work. Or he started to
subconsciously
miss me.
Yeah.
So I work here and
now I exaggerated, but it's very easy to become like that. When you're working with your friends, you don't want to hurt them. You want to be careful, but in order to get the most out of the training and to be honest with yourself and really have some progress in your training, you really need to go for our target. So Mickey will gain nothing if I do this. He will gain nothing. He will gain maybe a false confidence, or maybe he will not progress. He will not gain any substantial skill from that. But by hitting Mickey, control, Mickey learns. That's okay. It's not actually twice. He actually tries to hit me. I'm not being nice here. So I'm being a bit tough.
As you see, Christopher is trying to struggle against him.
Mickey just works. Good.
Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mickey. So this kind of training is gonna allow you to get confidence in a real fight and to learn how to effectively get those fancy positions or fancy moves that you want. So what we're gonna show you now is full speed. That's all. Christopher is gonna try to hit me in the head. Full speed.
Yes.
Oh, I hope I will not get knocked out. Okay. We will try. He's gonna try to resist if suddenly we start here. He will try to put me down. He's not gonna be a noodle.
So if we, for example, we get in here, he starts to wrestle with me, I wrestle back. So Alexander really needs to use his biomechanical in order to be able to work.
Okay. I'm gonna get my helmet on.
Yes.
One bonus tip. Remember to use a good helmet that doesn't block your vision. Some helmets do, like this kind of helmet. They give you the tunnel vision. Not so really good because you doesn't see when sides.
For example,
side punch come.
if I come in with a really good hook, he won't be able to see that if you're using that.
So you have to, if you're using helmets, find a helmet that you see. You check with yourself. Where does my eyes stop seeing? Aha, here.
So
Put the helmet on and try again. Aha, suddenly it's here. Fuck, this helmet not good. So, but that doesn't mean you don't, oh, okay, I have no good helmet. All the good helmets are really expensive. Shit, we don't use helmets at all. It's still good to use helmet, but remember that sometimes try to use and not use helmet to check where you are. But sometimes I say, shit, he's always fast in my face when he hit. How I didn't see that. Maybe problem is the helmet.
Yeah, the peripheral vision gets impaired.
So, full speed. His mission tried to hit me. My mission is to work with the start.
Okay.
So, we said, are we ready? There, and we go. So you see, even if I do something slowly, I still getting punched. That's because he's trying. He's really trying to hit me. This
It's real.
It's real. This is what's gonna happen
In a real fight.
in a real fight.
You're gonna get hit.
You're gonna get hit. Never try to think about yourself. I'm gonna be so good. I never get hit. Everybody get hit.
And that's a big problem with. That's actually I think because that the combat sports like MMA or something, they have really gotten that down. Not be afraid of it. In traditional systems, they're all about not getting hit, not getting him to touch your shin. So you have like in Kung Fu, you have all these fancy, you have these guards that are out here because I don't want to let him to touch me in the face. But in reality, it's like if you try to tread, it's like try to tread water without getting wet. It's impossible. You are going to get hit. If you've been in a fight, I've been in a fight, Alexander been in a fight, you always get hit. Always, even if you don't feel it at first, you will also get hit on the nose, and you need to be able to deal with maybe 2-3 hits to the face, as long as they not make contact in such a way. And that's also why we train to absorb the punches. It's here. So we train all that in order to be able to learn our bodies how to deal with those hits. So when we get hit in a real fight, he hits me, that does not distract me. I've seen, like when I was younger, like on the schoolyard, when we went from just like wrestling in the sandbox, and suddenly like the first punch came, and and people they become very scared. They never felt a punch before, and it can be very traumatic. But just by training with progression, stop. Pushes. So I'm conditioning Alexander, doing some slappers. He's used to work with breathing, punching in the body. This trains Alexander's body to survive. So when you get an onslaught from like 1, 2, 3 different person, your body will actually be able to take care of itself. But you, just because of that, you always have to remember to work. Even if Alexander gets thrown down, I start to punch him, and you just work with me. You have to work. Oh, I'm struggling. So you really need to build that kind of survival instinct. And you can't build a real survival instinct without knowing how much you can take, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why we also have stress tests. It's very important to have a stress test. And have the stress test in such a way that is realistic. What happens when somebody gets hit in the face? Boom! If he got a really good hit, if he got knockout, that he fall down, boom.
Then it's over.
Then it's over. But sometimes not every hit is knockout. Sometimes it's hit and his vision starts to blur, or he's just have a black.
Yeah, I can
it's
see
like lights go out, but you still conscious. You still understand. You hear maybe not everything is all whoosh around.
Yeah, the adrenaline starts pumping. You're getting dizzy. Your body really starts to prepare itself for this basic. As soon as this contact happens, when that happens, and I'm like here, the body, it recognizes, your central nervous system, it recognizes something has gone wrong. And the body starts to go into survival mode. You will get dizzy both from the punch, from all the adrenaline and all the chemicals running through your vascular system. So in order to recognize that, in order to learn how to work with that, we need to conduct tests on ourselves. So for example, if I take this helmet, in order to simulate vertigo, I will... This is not right. You just explain what I'm doing, so
you're gonna make himself dizzy. This is a simple trick to get yourself dizzy. Kids use this in school.
Yeah.
On the playgrounds or something like that. You just look down and start to run fast, about 20 times. 15-20 times is okay. Then you throw it away and you're gonna feel the room is still spinning, and you have really hard to get control of what's happening around you.
Yeah. So we're going to show that if our pupil Mickey comes up here. So I'm going to work against 2 persons. I'm going to get this dizzy. I'm going to put on gloves just in order not to hurt themselves in this class.
It's easy to get. So he's gonna try to survive. So he's gonna try to survive as much as possible. Our mission is to bring him down. To bring him down to the ground. His mission to get up and run away. You should never stay on the ground if you get on the ground. As fast as possible, you have to learn. Learn how to get fast up and start moving. Even if you're so dizzy, you don't see, you almost don't see nothing. Just run. Your brain's gonna, it will recover. In about 5 to 10 seconds, your vision is gonna be much better. So keep running, keep screaming. If you're in a knife fight, somebody hit you and try to stab you, you get up or right there, run away and run, scream. Same here. 2 persons, you don't want to be in this situation. So, and now show. Up, because friction. And fast. Okay? So you're gonna make him dizzy. Our mission is try to bring him down, hit him a little. Now it's a good helmet, but still, you can get knocked out here. So not go full in, but a little bit. Go on the body, and still, this is a training. So 20 times. It's making him really, really easy. So run, faster, faster. Always try to get as fast as possible. Okay? When you hit 20, you just drop it. In his missions, try to survive till somebody says stop. Okay? And break. And break. This is very good training, as you see. How does it feel?
I just feel good. I just a bit dizzy.
It's very good training. Now there's a step more. Another step. Blindness. So breathe out. Breathe out. So you're gonna use helmet and nothing to see. Maybe see a little bit. Doesn't matter. It's still hard to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
When you're ready, put it on. Okay. Now he's blind. He doesn't see, and instead of being dizzy and blind, overkill. So we're gonna make him much harder for him. So we say his situation, somebody knock him down, bam, but he's still conscious. In his eyes, he doesn't see anything, but he hears and he still can move. Okay, our mission here, we try to hit him, keep him down on the ground. He tries to get up and get away from the mats. As soon as he hits the floor, it's over. Okay? So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Work it, work it, work it, work it, work it. Work it, work it, work it, work it. Oh, and good. Explain what you feel and how that felt.
Felt very disoriented.
Yeah.
Didn't have a sense of direction. It was really hard to breathe as well because the baklava was all in my face. And the guys, they really put up a good fight. So instead of just focusing on doing these fancy takedowns or knocking someone out, because I can't see how am I supposed to knock someone out. The only thing I can do is try to survive and get away as far away there as possible in order for me to recover and hopefully like live another day.
And this point we go to why Systema use this type of punches. Also, I've read lots of comments, nobody punched like that. You know, if he counts, I go.
Yes.
It's because if it happens, you get knocked out, and suddenly you doesn't see. You're never gonna go. Come on, who is it? You're gonna go here. You're trying to go away, but if you're lucky, he tries to hit you. Boom! You knock somebody out. Less person to fight. If it's one-on-one and he thinks, oh shit, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And suddenly, boom, he's gone. Also, training blind. If you sometimes see it with blindfolder. So I gonna close my eyes, and he tries to grab me, and I training.
Now we go back to the beginning. About structure breaking.
Is also helping me to get ready if something like that happens. So all the training you see, you have to understand why they're showing you like that. Nobody gonna show you and explain in hours and hours and hours. This is why you're doing that. This is why, and that's why when people see stuff like somebody's doing like this or training, shadow boxing. Like this. It's really good training to get relaxed in your punches, to get
really the flow. If you don't have the flow,
and if you are enough relaxed, so I'm blind here and suddenly I want to punch somebody, it's gonna be a powerful punch. And we learn to punch not from the karate strike or boxing from situations that I can see. Here. I said, oh shit, what happened? Come closer. I go, and suddenly I go. So that's very important to understand why people train that way.
And also,
Systema works. You have to understand it, you have to try it. Many instructors says, try it before you start to criticize it.
just as a bonus, in order to work, for example, you see a lot of systems actually, they do these confrontations face to face. He likes to put up a knife. So here it's easy for me to work. It's fairly easy. Puts up a knife. The only thing I need to think about is securing the knife hand and don't start using. But as Alexander said, what happens if someone comes from behind? It's dark outside. He puts me in a really bad position, and here I need to be able to do what we did before. I need to be able to know how my body works, in which way I can, even though I can't see. For example, maybe he has put something over my head. I can see here, so I'm blind. He's holding it. I still need to be able to work with him, keeping my eyes closed. He comes from the side, maybe. So always, I can come to you, Alex. So all those things that you see, people, and that kind of short work, it all comes from, I'm here, I'm closing my eyes, I'm just trying to feel where Alexander is. This is the progression. And it grabs me, I'm still, can't see anything. I'm just trying to feel where Alexander is. Subconsciously, my body has been trained in all this way to feel like how the biomechanics of the body works. So my body knows how those biomechanics works. So when I'm applying this to short work, especially if we do it some kind of weapons, he can choose really. I will not see what kind of weapon he chooses. So he will just threaten me or something. I don't know.
Give me your money.
I can still work with him. My body has not been cut. My body, I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just letting my body do all the subconscious work for me. So I'm standing here, if I'm on the cash register maybe, going to take up some cash, and standing here minding our business, all of a sudden, oh, okay, here the work begins. So that's why it's also very good to work blindfolded, not only rely on your vision, because maybe if I try to look here, he will shoot me. So I will like.
Or maybe he's looking at you. What the hell? Bam! I hit him with the gun. Bam! He's blind here.
So I can't see, but I still need to be able to work with him. Holding me like something. Right. Here I can control him. He tries to reach for his gun. I still have secured here. It's all biomechanics. Here, break his neck, break his back, take the gun.
It's very important to understand that Systema is no sport, like everybody says. Most of people say it's like karate. Karate is a sport. It became a sport because when samurais use it, they use mixed of their art. They use aikido, karate. They use knife fighting. They use to become a samurai.
And their own life experiences as well. Mm. But the thing is, when they took those systems that are fitted for medieval warfare, that are fitted for like samurai, so karate, for example, fitted for samurai fighting. Take that into a modern context, and you keep all those rigid, and not to bash karate or anything, but if you keep those almost ritualized forms of katas, and you have those as like real defined ways of doing karate and for fighting, you will get stuck maybe in a pattern that is not very useful. So for example, if Alexander is going to use karate, he is training karate, if he's going to use karate, and I will not have my gun like this now, I will have it like that. How will he use karate, for example?
I gotta go here.
Yeah, pang, 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 pang.
Or I gotta go outside.
But still be able to shoot him, right?
Because we never get trained how to defend against a gun or something like that. We're trained if somebody gets close here, then of course you hit it out of hand.
Yeah.
If he doesn't hit it, you go down, bump, really good punches, or maybe you go like.
And that's karate. And because now this is more akin to like if you pull on a knife or something, but in like the modern warfare, people will not. If a professional comes up to, he's not professional. He probably wants something. He's just like a street fight. A professional will keep the gun there.
I gotta keep my distance for all.
So how will
if you touch me, if you suddenly touch me, then I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna use my gun to hit, and then I shoot.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna use my legs, then I shoot. Or I'm gonna use only my gun to not realize and then lay down.
Yeah. So in order to work with that, we need to not apply like how in if you style it like that. Keep it more close to verses. So I can't like okay. I have this technique, we can do that. No, here we have to be situational. I need to use psychology. So if I'm moving with him, I say, okay, what do you want when you're here? I can work because I'm using body positioning, I'm using basic leverage. I'm just focusing on getting out of the line of fire. That's really all I'm doing. Then the situation will develop different each time. So. And even if he stays like far away from me, we go like that. So then I need to be able to use, for example, if he put it there, if he looks at me, I see if I do something like that, he will shoot me. So maybe here it's better to go for a feint. Use work a little bit like that. So instead of overcomplicating things, basic to gun defense is always getting out of the line of fire, no matter what you do. You can't rely on, okay, I need to use my hands. What if I'm tied up?
What if you're on the knees and you're
like
tied
this.
up?
Yes.
And I still look in the camera and says, money now, I kill him.
Yeah. So I need to be able to work with him, even though I'm in very, very, unfavorable positions. So it goes like that. So now I'm out of the line of fire. Now I can use the basic of structure breaking to take control of the gun. So in Systema we work not so much as repeating techniques, specific scenarios. We try to see it as solving problems. And the ways to solving those problems are formulas, right? Like in mathematics. In order to, but you have to apply those formulas in different ways. For example, if I'm against the wall, so the basic formula, as I said, for gun is getting out of the line of fire. So here I'm out of the line of fire. I've closed my distance. Here I can pretty much do whatever I want. Hit him here, go for his knees, secure the gun arm. So Systema basically is not rehearsing a lot of techniques, like 1,000 techniques for thousands of different problems.
Situation can change in seconds.
I actually saw a really good clip on YouTube, I think. It was a guy he betrayed training in gun defense. So if you just hold it up like that, I mean the classical is you do that right, as everyone has seen it. You go like that, really hard. It really, that's like really classical. But then he said like, okay, but then a guy come up like that. And now he tried to do the same thing and you see it, nothing happens. So without the knowledge of biomechanics, you can't really solve those problems. So instead of rehearsing techniques, try to see, okay, if he holds the gun like that, what can I do? I mean, if I go here and it goes off, he will, I will not be able to hear, but yes. So if you just go up all the time. And you can also try to position yourself. So you got yourself, I'm just going other way. So this is actually really basic. It also trains you not to like wait. So like if he comes up to me, he really wants to rob me.
Give me everything you got.
Okay.
Now.
And I will like, okay, so let's see, what should I do? No. The first thing I should do if someone comes up to me, I should directly move out of the line of fire. I have to work directly all the time. And also, same applies for knives.
Fingers.
And also, we can try. Also, we try to limit our movements. So here, I can't really go backwards. I don't know where to go. So here, I need to fixate. I can also work like soft work. So he starts to stab me. This is working like against a knife attack. So and I go, so to work up speed. Really try to work with him.
Again, I'm not playing with him. Yeah, here. Okay. I'm going to punch him with the knife. Even if it's not sharp enough, it's just training.
It will hurt.
It will still hurt. He tries to avoid that.
Yeah.
So
This is not ideal, only like avoiding the knife, but it's a good to develop a basic feel of distance from the weapon. So he goes. Can try. So you can go like that, try to work on your timing. In real life, if some guy starts to fling at you like that, either you run, if you got the option, or you need to go in directly. You need to secure the knife arm, take out the space of support, take the knife.
still, remember, if you use Systema, if you train Systema, and you have trained it so much that it became like
second nature.
Second nature for you. Remember what you have learned. You not only learned a way to defend yourself, you have learned also to kill the person. Because if you do it real fast, what Systema is meant to do, it can be deadly. Because every time, now we go slow,
Yes.
every time I go neck, I go punch really hard.
Since I'm trained to relax, and this is during like a training session, I know when he goes like, I feel that hit, I will relax in order to avoid injuries. But like if I'm not prepared, and if he goes for my neck and I go like that, he probably gonna collapse my trachea. He will maybe break my neck or cause some other severe injuries. So
maybe I hit into the liver or something like that, break a liver. Really bad stuff can happen. Kidneys, easy to hit. Suddenly I think, oh, I'm so cool, I'm here. And then I go so fast, he's starting to fall and I have a knee, bam! Down, surgery, hospital.
Yeah.
So, because every move you do, it's so easy to come to that it can be, just because I know if I want to kill him, I drop his body down and I turn his head and then I lie down with him. He gonna
I can break my neck.
break his neck. So what I do in training to avoid that, I go to his body. In a real Systema, you go for the neck.
Yeah.
If you see we go for the stomach, no, you go for the groin, or you go for the liver, or you go for something like that. You go in Systema you train pressure points, where to hit, how to hit, in which angle, and stuff like that. If you learn all that and apply it, you can become very deadly for your opponent. And if you are drunk and suddenly that's bad, and suddenly you get in a fight
with a friend, maybe it's just for play.
And suddenly your instinct or the move is that you have learned suddenly go full way. It can be lethal.
So you really need this kind of work. That when you work softly, you really need to. If we are going to go with head manipulations, you really need to see how you can turn the head. In order, and if you put a bit more resistance. So if he has a resistance, I can work with that. I need to be confident when I work with the head, because if I go full circle, maybe I will break it. So that's why you see maybe a lot of repetitions, like you see Systema guys who go for like the arms. They try to like see how they can load the joints, how they can affect the neck. It's only because we don't want to have like accidents when we train or even in real life. So we need to be able to understand how the biomechanics work, why we hit where we hit, and to hit with like in moderation. We don't have to go full force. If I go just like that, that's enough, right? Even if you tense up, if you hold me here, tense, that's enough. If you don't learn to approximate the depths of your punches, how much power you actually, I think you said something. It's very important to gauge, also what's it called? To measure your punches or your kicks or your grapples to see really how strong you are, because when you're really gonna apply it in real situations, you need to know where your limits are and also what kind of damage you can do.
Yes.
Or something really to say, Alex?
Yeah. So if you still think that Systema is bullshit or stuff like that, try it. I recommend it. Christopher recommends it too. I think so. And don't try to find on YouTube some videos like Systema in a real fight, because if it's a real fight, the person that is in a real fight and has Systema, he knows that that guy maybe not going home tonight. Yeah. Maybe he's dead. Maybe he's in a hospital. I don't want to pay a lot of money for his medicine. Why should I do that? That's why if somebody trains martial artists, they know they can kick the shit out of that guy. I mean, but they don't choose to. They know that if I do that, I can lose my job because I'm in jail. My entire life can change because of a stupid punk that wants to start a fight with me. So be smart when you search Systema. Understand why you're looking at. What kind of work? Why do they do that kind of work? Search all the different Systema. Rabko, Kadashnikov, Vasiliev, Izvor. All the schools have a lot of good stuff out there. Research, find, train, test, and you will see that it works perfectly fine, and it's really useful self-defense that it was especially made for special forces, but it was toned down because of his littleness. He was toned down so it could work in civilians. Yeah. So thank you for us. This was Systema Uppsala. My name is Alexander.
My name is Christopher.
So if you have questions,
you can post it in the comments below.
Comments below. You wanna see something? You have a question about some move
or a situation you want to see how we solve it. You can just post it and we will show it to you.
And I wish not to hear anybody says that this is still a bullshit. I recommend you to try it before you say something. It's like if you never seen a karate and suddenly you see some fight that doesn't look good, you say karate is bullshit. But nobody says that.
It all depends on the practitioner.
Yeah, it all depends if the practitioner is good or he's bad.